All right, thanks, guys. Make sure you hit that like button right now. We're 35, 21, and 2 in our last 58 plays on patreon.com/Brock Page. Just want to give you a little bit larger sample size there. We're also 4-0 and 1 in our last 5 daily double plays on that site as well. And we're 11-3 and 1 in our last 15 college football plays. That's patreon.com/Brock Page. Link for that website is in the description section below. All right, guys, we got ourselves a nice little kind of juicy slate of Major League Baseball action here on this Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. Let's go ahead and slide into this slate, beginning with the Mariners taking on the Orioles. 105 Eastern first pitch in Baltimore. The O's are minus 120, total 9.5. 69% of the consensus is leaning towards Seattle, 73% shaded toward the under. Right now, Seattle's plus $1.10 on the money line. Baltimore plus $1.55, laying the run and a half. We have Marco Gonzalez for the Mariners, John Means for the O's. Gonzalez on the Seattle side of things, 16 and 11 on the year, 139 strikeouts. Now, the Mariners have won 6 out of their last 7 ball games. They're also 10 and 3 in their last 13, taking on Baltimore, if you're into historical trends. Now, the O's on the other side, winners in just 24 out of 70. Let's try that again. Winners in just 24 out of 80 at Camden Yards this year. They're also dead last in runs allowed on average per game. Now, total-wise, Baltimore's 80% to the over in their last 5. They're also 47 and 33 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Seattle plus $1.10 and the over 9.5 in that game. Next matchup, Blue Jays, Yankees, 105 New York. The Yankees are 320, total at 10. We saw a 15-cent move toward New York, movement upward on the total. The Yankees open 305 up to 320. Total open 9.5 up to 10. 71% are leaning Yankees, 72% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Blue Jays are plus 275 on the money line. The Yankees minus $1.55, laying the run and a half. We have Trent Thornton for the Blue Jays, Luis Severino for the Yankees. Now, Thornton's just 5 and 9 on the year for Toronto, 4.93 ERA. The Blue Jays are 29th in hits on average per game, which is second to last in Major League Baseball. They're also 29th in walks allowed on average per game. Now, the Yankees on the other side, they are tied for the most wins in Major League Baseball. They're 101 and 55 on the year. They also rank first in scoring on average per game. Now, total-wise, the Yankees are 4 and 1 to the under in their last 5. They're also 5 and 1 to the under in their last 6 at Yankee Stadium. I'm going to lean New York minus 1.5 and the under 10 runs in that game. Next matchup, Nationals, Marlins, 110 Miami. The Nats are 110. No, that's wrong. The Nats are minus 180. Totals at 9. We saw a 20-cent fade of Washington in the early wagering. The Nats open 200, down to 180. Totals at 9. 70% are leaning Washington. 53% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Marlins are plus 165 on the money line. Washington minus $1.05, laying the run and a half. We have Austin Voth for the Nationals. Pablo Lopez for the Marlins. Lopez is just 5 and 8 with a 4.94 ERA. Miami has the fewest wins in the National League. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 6 ball games. Now, Washington on the other side, 49 and 31 ATS on the road. And of course, when I refer to ATS or covering or the spread, I'm referring to the run line. So once again, Washington, 49 and 31 ATS when traveling. They're third in runs allowed on the road, second in hits allowed on the road as well. Now, total-wise, the Marlins are 50 and 30 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Washington minus $1.80 and the over 9 runs in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and just welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Sunday's Major League Baseball action. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you're enjoying your weekend as we are kind of wrapping up this weekend here on a Sunday. But anyway, we got ourselves a lot of NFL action, MLB action. So it's going to be a great day here today. Now, guys, I got to remind you once again, hit that like button right now. We're also 35, 21, and 2 in our last 58 plays on patreon.com/Brock Page. Those are all plays that kind of scour across all of my different memberships. Once again, 35, 21, and 2 in our last 58 plays on that site. We're 4-0-1 in our last 5 daily double picks on that site. We're also 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football picks on that website. There's also plenty of free content there as well, so you don't even have to buy a package just to enjoy the site. My current record is a part of that free content, so if you want to see how I'm doing, go to patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. All right, guys, let's go ahead and slide back into some more lines and personal leans for Sunday's Major League Baseball action. All starts Eastern Standard Time. Let's take a look at the Red Sox taking on the Rays, 110 Tampa Bay. The Rays are 150, total 8.5, 20-cent fade of Tampa Bay. They open 170 down to 150, totals 8.5, 63% leaning toward the Rays, 62% shaded toward the over. Red Sox are plus 140 on the money line, Rays plus $1.35, laying the 1.5. Nathan Eovaldi for the Red Sox, Ryan Yarbrough for the Rays. Yarbrough's 11-4 with a 3.78 ERA, 0.94 whip. Eovaldi on the other side for the Red Sox, 6.19 ERA, 1.61 whip. Tampa Bay is one game ahead of Cleveland for that second wildcard spot in the American League. Their 92 is 63 overall for the year, third in runs allowed on the road, third in strikeouts on the road as well. Boston on the other side, 21st in runs allowed on average per game, 28th in walks allowed. When it comes to the total, Boston's 4-1 to the over in their last 5. Give me the Rays minus 150 and the over 8 in the hook. Next game, White Sox, Tigers, 110 Detroit. The Tigers are $1.10, total at 9, 60% leaning toward the White Sox, 71% shaded toward the over. Chicago's minus 102 on the money line. Tigers plus $1.75, laying the 1.5. Ronaldo Lopez for Chicago, Matthew Boyd for the Tigers. Boyd's 8-11 with a 4.54 ERA. Detroit is the worst team in Major League Baseball. They rank dead last in scoring on average per game, last in offensive strikeouts, really struggling to make contact. Chicago on the other side is 9th in hits on average per game, winners in their last 3 straight, 5-1 in their last 6 in Detroit. Now, total-wise, Chicago's 9-4 to the over in their last 13, taking on a divisional opponent. Give me the White Sox minus 102 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Mets, Reds, 110 Cincinnati. The Mets are minus 130, total 8.5. Saw a movement downward on the total in this one. Once again, New York's minus 130, total open 9 down to 8.5. 63% are leaning Mets, 66% shaded toward the over. The Reds are plus 120 for a win. Mets plus $1.20, laying the 1.5. Marcus Stroman for the Mets, Trevor Bauer for the Reds. Bauer has 245 strikeouts on the season. Meanwhile, Stroman on the other side for the Mets comes into this game with a 9-13 record. The Reds have been pretty good at home this year, 41-36 at the Great American Ballpark. Winners in 3 out of their last 4 ball games, 6-3 in their last 9. They're also 6th in strikeouts at home. Now, New York on the other side, winners in just 37 out of 80 when traveling this year. And they're also 20th in runs allowed on the road, 27th in hits allowed on the road. When it comes to the number, New York's 47-33 to the over when traveling. Give me the Reds plus 1.5 and the over 8 and a hook. Next game, Giants, Braves, 120 Atlanta. The Braves are 220, total at 9. 20-cent move toward Atlanta, movement downward on the total. The Braves open 200, up to 220. Total open 9.5, down to 9 flat. 72% are leaning Atlanta, 71% shaded toward the under. Right now, San Francisco is plus 200 on the money line. Atlanta minus $1.15 on the run line. Logan Webb for the Giants, Dallas Keuchel for the Braves. Keuchel's 8-6 with a 3.63 ERA. Logan Webb on the other side for San Francisco, just 1-2 on the year, 6.51 ERA. Atlanta's in first place in the NL East, 6th in scoring, 3rd in offensive walks. The Giants on the other side, 27th in scoring, 23rd in strikeouts. They've also dropped 8 out of their last 9 head-to-head matchups with Atlanta. Now, total-wise, the Giants are 4-1 to the over in their last 5. Give me the Braves minus 1.5 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Royals, Twins, 210 Minnesota. The Twins are minus 230, total 10.5. Nickel move toward the Twins, no movement on the total as of yet. Minnesota opened 225 up to 230, totals 10.5. 75% are leaning toward Minnesota, 71% shaded toward the over. Right now, Kansas City is plus 210 on the money line. The Twins minus $1.30, laying the 1.5. We have George Lopez for KC, Martin Perez for Minnesota. Perez is 10-7 with 129 strikeouts. Lopez on the other side for Kansas City, just 4-8 on the year, 5.93 ERA. Minnesota is in first place in the AL Central, second in scoring, second in hits. The Royals on the other side, losers in 5 out of their last 6 head-to-head matchups with the Twins. They've also won just 28 out of 80 when traveling this year. One more thing to add about Kansas City, they rank 28th in scoring on average per game. Now, total-wise, Minnesota 13-6 to the under in their last 19. Give me the Twins -1.5 and the under 10.5. Next game, Angels, Astros, 210 Houston. The Stros are -325, total 9.5. Jose Rodriguez for the Angels, Justin Verlander for the Stros. Verlander's 19-6 with a 2.50 ERA, 0.79 WHIP, 288. I can't read my handwriting. 283 strikeouts on the year. Now, Houston is tied for the most wins in Major League Baseball. They are 101 and 54 on the year. Winners in 6 out of their last 7. 14-5 in their last 19 at home. Now, the Angels on the other side, winners in just 3 out of their last 12 ball games. They've dropped 6 out of their last 7 head-to-head matchups with Houston. They're also just 4-12 in their last 16 on the road. The Angels are 27th in runs allowed away from home. Now, total-wise, the Angels are 4-2 to the over in their last 6. They're also 45-35 to the over away from home as well. Give me the Astros -1.5 and the over 9.5. Next game, Pirates, Brewers, 210 Milwaukee. The Brewers are 245 total and 9, 10-cent fade of Milwaukee in the early wagering. They open 255 down to 245, totals at 9, 72% leaning toward Milwaukee, 73% shaded toward the over. Right now, Pittsburgh is plus 225 on the money line. The Brewers -$1.20, laying the 1.5. Trevor Williams for the Pirates, Brandon Woodruff for the Brewers. Woodruff's 11-3 with a 3.69 ERA, 1.16 WHIP. He's also struck out 140 batters. Williams on the other side for Pittsburgh, just 7-7 on the year, 5.59 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Milwaukee is 3 games ahead of Chicago for that second wild card spot in the National League. They won 8 out of their last 10 ball games. They're also 14-2 in their last 16. Milwaukee ranks 2nd in offensive walks, 5th in strikeouts on the road. Now, the Pirates on the other side, they're on a 8-game losing streak. They're also gone 1-7 in their last 8 in Milwaukee. They rank 28th in runs allowed on the road. Now, total-wise, Pittsburgh 6-2 to the over in their last 8. They're also 5-0 to the over in their last 5 away from home. Give me the Brewers -1.5 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Cardinals, Cubs, 220 Chicago. The Cubs are 160, total 12.5. Saw a 20-cent move toward Chicago, moving upward on the total. The Cubbies open $1.40 up to 160. Total open 11 up to 12.5. 51% are leaning St. Louis. And at the moment, the Cardinals are plus 150 on the money line. Cubbies plus $1.05, laying the 1.5. We have Miles Michaelis for the Cards, Yu Darvish for the Cubs. Darvish comes into this game with a 6-7 record, 4.02 ERA. Michaelis on the other side, 140 strikeouts on the year. Chicago's lost their last 5 straight ball games. They're 20th in offensive strikeouts. The Cardinals on the other side, first place in the NL Central, 4th in runs allowed, 3rd in hits allowed. When it comes to the total, Chicago's 46-34 to the under at home. Give me the Cardinals plus 1.5 and the under 12.5. Next game, Rangers, Athletics, 407 Oakland. The A's are 175, total at 8. Saw a nickel move toward Oakland, moving downward on the total. The Athletics open $1.80 down to 175. Total open 9 down to 8. 70% are leaning Oakland, 72% shaded toward the over. Right now the Rangers are plus 165 on the money line. Oakland plus $1.15, laying the 1.5. We have Lance Lynn for the Rangers, Tanner Roark for the A's. Roark's coming into this game with a 4.12 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Meanwhile, Lance Lynn on the other side for the Rangers, 14-11 on the year, 3.77 ERA, 224 strikeouts. Oakland is 26th in striking batters out. So really their opponents making good contact off this rotation. They're also 25th in hits at home, really struggling to get on base at home. Now, Texas on the other side, 46-34 against the spread away from home, 12th in scoring. When it comes to the total, Texas is 4-2 to the over in their last 6, taking on Oakland. I'm going to lean Rangers plus 1.5 and the over 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, Diamondbacks, Padres, 410 San Diego. The D-backs are $1.25, total 8.5. Now, we did see a 10-cent move toward Arizona. No movement on the total as of yet. The D-backs open $1.15 up to 125. Total's 8.5. 51% are leaning San Diego. 66% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Padres are plus $1.15 on the money line. San Diego plus $1.35, laying the run and a half. We have Robbie Ray for the Diamondbacks. Garrett Richards for the Padres. Now, Richards comes into this game with a 7.36 ERA. On the other side, the D-backs, Robbie Ray, 12-8 on the year, 215 strikeouts. The Diamondbacks are 4-1 straight up in their last 5. They're also 5-0 straight up in their last 5 head-to-head matchups with the Padres. I'm going to lean Arizona minus $1.25 and the over 8.5 runs in that game. All right, next matchup. It is going to be Rockies, Dodgers, 410 Los Angeles. The Dodgers are minus 360, total at 9. Saw a 15-cent move toward Colorado. We actually saw a 15-cent fade of the Dodgers in the early wagering. No movement on the total as of yet. LA opened 375, down to 360. Totals at 9. 72% leaning toward Los Angeles, 71% shaded toward the over. Right now, Colorado's plus 320 on the money line. Dodgers minus $1.65, laying the run and a half. We have Antonio Sensatella for the Rockies, Hyun-Jin Ryu for the Dodgers. Now, Ryu's 12-5 on the year, 2.35 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. He's also struck out 148 batters. Sensatella on the other side for Colorado, 10-10 on the year, 6.83 ERA, 1.74 WHIP. The Dodgers have the best record in the National League. They're also 5th in scoring, 1st in runs allowed. And when it comes to the total, Colorado 4-1 to the under in their last 5. I'm going to lean Dodgers minus 1.5 and the under 9 runs in that game. And we're going to slide in our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Phillies, Indians, 637 Cleveland. The Indians are 160, total 10.5. Saw a 20-cent move toward Cleveland, moving upward on the total. The Indians open $1.40 up to 160. Total open 10 up to 10 and a hook. 56% are leaning Phillies, 60% shaded toward the under. Right now, Philadelphia is plus 150 on the money line. They have Vinny Velasquez on the bump for him today. Adam Plutko for the Indians. Plutko's 7-4 with a 1.22 WHIP. Vinny Velasquez on the other side for the Phillies, 7-7 on the year, 4.89 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. Cleveland's just one game back for that second wildcard spot in the American League. They're 91-64 overall for the year. 2nd runs allowed, 6th in striking batters out. Now the Phillies on the other side, winners in just 3 out of their last 7. They're also just 1-4 in their last 5 in Cleveland. 21st in hits allowed. And when it comes to the total, Philadelphia's 5-2 to the under in their last 7. I'm going to lean Cleveland minus $1.60 and the under 10.5 in that game. And we're going to slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. We have the Indians minus 160, under 10.5. Dodgers minus 1.5, under 9 runs. Arizona minus $1.25, over 8.5. Rangers plus 1.5, over 8 runs. Cardinals plus 1.5, under 12.5. Milwaukee minus 1.5, over 9 runs. Houston minus 1.5, over 9 and a hook. Minnesota minus 1.5, under 10 and a hook. Atlanta minus 1.5, over 9 runs. Washington minus 180, over 9 runs. Cincinnati plus 1.5, over 8 and a hook. White Sox minus 102, over 9 runs. Rays minus 150, over 8 and a hook. Yankees minus 1.5, under 10 runs. And last but certainly not least, we're leaning toward the Mariners plus 110 and the over 9.5 in that game. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Please hit that like button on this video right here on YouTube real quick. Please do that for me right now. Now, we are 35-21-2 in our last 58 plays on Patreon. And, of course, that spans across all different tiers, memberships, and packages. We're also 4-0-1 in our last 5 daily double picks. And we are 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football plays. There's also plenty of free content there as well, including my current record. That is patreon.com. Man, my shirt was all jacked up for the entire video. That's going to be patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for watching me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you, and don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.